You had Kim, she fell out at the casket and Mary picked her up, and Mary didn't speak to Faith. And I was like, Faith was the wife, no matter what.
I recall Mary walking by the road that I was on and acknowledging everybody except for me.
Mary J. Blige, she's been there since the very beginning. She was pushing, 26? When she was having intimate physical engagement with Danny Boy, was 15, 16 years old.
This Mary J. Blige, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young.
Oh my God, in a jaw-dropping court revelation that's already setting social media on fire, Faith Evans has allegedly testified that Mary J. Blige wasn't just a passive observer in Diddy's inner circle, but an active player. According to Faith's explosive claims, Mary allegedly played the role of a Diddy's Madam Handler, helping facilitate the introduction of women into Diddy's world, a world that has now been described by multiple witnesses as toxic, abusive, and deeply exploitative. I am telling you all, you will not believe the shocking claims coming out of court right now. So get your popcorn and grab your seats, because Faith Evans just turned this Diddy trial into a primetime drama that Noon saw coming.
Allegedly, one of those tapes that Courtney Burgess say that he never saw was with Diddy, a very 16-year-old and a very 26-year-old Mary J. Blige.
Now, Diddy's trial has definitely not disappointed when it comes to drama and surprise revelations. However, one thing most didn't count on in this whole mess was that two of the most iconic women in 90s R&B scene, Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige, got dragged into this whole mess, and they are now allegedly on opposite sides of a scandal that's rapidly expanding beyond Diddy himself and cutting into the very core of the music industry's most respected names. Get this, rumor has it that Faith Evans gave a shocking testimony that reportedly pulled back the curtain on her time at Bad Boy Records, revealing some serious allegations of manipulation, jealousy, and coercion, wrapped in luxury and fame, but deeply laced with fear. Insiders say that Faith described a working environment where power dynamics were constantly and women were either complicit, silenced, or discarded. She also spoke about the tragic deaths of Biggie and Tupac, hinting that the energy and chaos surrounding Bad Boy Records at the time wasn't just industry drama, it was something darker. While she stopped short of linking their deaths directly to Diddy, she made it clear the manipulation and toxicity she experienced were not separate from the events that tore the hip-hop world apart. But what's really sending shockwaves through the industry, though, is what Faith had to say about Diddy and Mary J. Blige. According to insiders close to the case, Faith Evans allegedly dropped a bombshell testimony, claiming that Mary wasn't just a fellow artist or friend in Diddy's circle, she was allegedly a madam, actively facilitating the flow of women into Diddy's world, often under circumstances that were anything but glamorous. This revelation, if true, could rewrite Mary J. Blige's entire legacy. Sources claim that Faith accused Mary of helping Diddy manage the women who came to him for help with their music. Allegedly, Mary was aware of the dangers these women were in with Diddy, but not only was she not a passive bystander according to these accounts, but someone who may have played a key role in maintaining the toxic inner workings of Diddy's world. It's a shocking accusation, especially considering how Blige has long branded herself as the queen of hip-hop soul, a survivor, and an advocate for women's empowerment. Now, Faith and Mary's relationship was already rumored to be tense for a long time before this. Most infamously, their collaboration on Love Don't Live Here Anymore was said to be riddled with behind-the-scenes friction. Faith has reportedly claimed that Mary wanted her vocals removed from the track, a move that allegedly exposed a competitive streak and personal animosity that went beyond music. And this isn't the first time Mary J. Blige has been accused of shady behavior in the industry. Jaguar Wright claimed a while back that Mary sabotaged her career. Wright has openly suggested that Blige used her industry clout to blackball emerging artists, particularly women who posed any kind of threat or who weren't down to play by the rules, aka participate in the freak-offs.
Diddy told her he was going to beg you. She knew it was gonna happen. She was purposefully not by her husband's side that night.
Now, with Faith's alleged testimony coming to light, these pieces are forming a troubling pattern, a suggestion that Mary J. Blige may have been more complicit than previously imagined in protecting powerful men and participating in a system that exploited vulnerable women behind the curtain of fame. Neither Blige nor her representatives have addressed the allegations, but her silence is growing louder with each passing day. If these claims gain traction, or if more women come forward, it could trigger a massive shift in how Mary is viewed, not just as an artist, but as a figure within the very power structure now under federal scrutiny. Now, this testimony really put a lot of things into perspective, like why Mary and Faith allegedly fought at a Diddy party back in 2018. Guys, that infamous fight allegedly happened in the Hamptons the same night Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's feud allegedly popped off. The internet couldn't get enough of the alleged showdown, with whispers of flying hands and long-standing beef bubbling over at one of the industry's most elite events. But Mary J. Blige shut that rumor down hard. Mary addressed the story head-on and called BS. Of course that was made up. I was shooting a movie in Louisiana, I just got here today, she told reporters. And not only did she claim she was not at Diddy's Hamptons bash, but sources close to his camp also backed her up, telling Heavy.com the alleged altercation was completely fabricated. Still, the rumor had legs. It wasn't just about a random party scuffle. It tapped into a deeper narrative fans have always speculated about: the long-rumored tension between Mary and Faith, two R&B powerhouses who were once label mates at Bad Boy Records and have never been seen as close friends. Faith, for her part, has never publicly addressed the Hamptons fight rumor, which only added fuel to the fire. But Mary didn't just deny the fight, she dismissed the entire idea with the same energy she brings to a red carpet: bold, unapologetic, and with a little edge. "I don't need the runway to walk with a you mentality," she said in that same interview. "I walk down the street with a you attitude. It's not the world, but this is me and you can't stop me from being me." Now, Faith Evans' journey through the music industry is one of tragedy and survival, especially at the hands of Diddy, and now her testimony is finally peeling back the curtain on what really went down behind the glossy image of Bad Boy Records. And honey, it's not a pretty picture. You see, back in 1994, Faith wasn't just making history as the first female artist signed to Bad Boy Records. She was also unknowingly stepping into a pressure cooker of control, manipulation, and industry politics, all masterminded by Diddy himself. At first, it looked like a dream come true: major label, breakout debut, and co-writing credits with Mary J. Blige and Usher. But behind the scenes, Faith says Diddy was pulling the strings in ways that went far beyond studio sessions. Let's talk image control. Faith revealed that Diddy micromanaged everything down to her skin tone. Yes, you read that right. She was allegedly forced to tan regularly to maintain a look that Diddy believed would be more marketable. And if you think that's wild, just wait. While juggling her rising career, Faith met Biggie Smalls at a Bad Boy photo shoot that same year, and the chemistry was instant. Just weeks later, they were married. But what started as a whirlwind romance quickly spiraled into chaos. With rumors of infidelity haunting their relationship, Faith was pushed to the edge, and that's when she allegedly got involved with Tupac in what many believe was a revenge affair that lit the fuse on the already explosive East Coast versus West Coast rivalry. Then came the heartbreak. Tupac was down in 1996. Biggie followed in 1997. The world mourned, but Faith? She was expected by Diddy to perform, literally. In one of the most shocking revelations, Faith claimed that Diddy pressured her to perform "I'll Be Missing You" at the 1997 MTV VMAs, just months after Biggie's death. Despite being consumed with grief, Diddy allegedly pushed her on stage to maintain the public narrative and the momentum of the song's success. It was a chart-topping hit, but for Faith, it was a deeply traumatic experience wrapped in glitz and ratings. But the mistreatment didn't stop there. Trapped under contract with Bad Boy, Faith says she was treated more like an accessory than an artist. She dropped 2 more albums under the label, but claims she was sidelined and left to fend for herself, especially as tensions with Mary J. Blige reportedly boiled over. Allegedly, Mary became increasingly hostile and jealous over Faith's vocals and growing influence. By 2001, Faith had had enough. She broke free, hired a new legal team, cleaned house, and began a deep healing process. That meant therapy, spiritual counseling, and finally taking control of her own life outside of Diddy's shadow. Today, insiders say Faith Evans stood in court as a survivor of Diddy and Mary's abuse. According to whispers from Faith Evans, we're not just talking shady behavior, we're talking an entire alleged network of women being used and tossed aside like yesterday's playlist. And get this, there are even claims of secret parties and hidden cameras. Yes, cameras. Faith's testimony is rocking the industry to its core, hinting at a much darker underbelly where big names like Diddy and Blige allegedly operated without anyone daring to question them. But now that the silence has been broken, the consequences could be catastrophic. If what Faith is saying holds up in court, Mary J. might not just be facing headlines, she could be facing legal trouble of her own. Industry insiders are on edge, watching this all unfold like a real-life thriller. Everyone's wondering the same thing. How did this system allegedly thrive for so long with no one stepping in? It's not just about Diddy, Mary, or Faith anymore. It's about the rot that's been allowed to fester behind the scenes for decades. And as this trial heats up, one question is echoing louder than ever. Who's next? Tell me your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other stories to ensure you are all up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.